Today I'm going to be sharing with you my best melee build. Now this has been personally tested in Recruit and Veteran, and it wrecks in Veteran, so I assume it's going to hold up fairly well in Nightmare. All these cards have been very well tested. I've moved things around and really tested out this build, and it wrecks. To start off with, we're going to use Mean Drunk. Mean Drunk should definitely 100% be your opening card from Act 1. It doesn't matter. 75% melee damage. Okay, you can't sprint. You're a fucking monster off the bat with your melee on the little dudes with the bat. And once you get the fire axe, it's game over. So, next up, we want to gain our health back. We're going to gain a little bit of our health, like even in Act 1, Mission 1. We do want that health. We're going to take the melee kills, heal us for 2. That's enough to beat that board. Next up, we're going to up our health even more, so we're not losing health when we are holding down a spot or going in a little bit on dudes. And we're going to gain 3 temporary health whenever we kill a Ridden within 2 meters, which is 100% of our kills. So, really good card. Next up, we're going to use Run Like Hell. The reason we're using Run Like Hell is because we're taking that 75% melee damage that cleaves through enemies right off the bat. Now, you're going to move a little bit slow with this. So, we need that 15% movement speed in order to really close the gap and take out the tall boys and crushers pretty easily, and close the gap on the breaker and the hag, sorry, yeah, the hag, and kill the hag. Now this melee build can very easily kill the breaker. When the breaker lands, you basically time it so you go in as soon as it stops, after it jumps or after it does an attack. You can go right in on it with the fire axe, take out its first weak point, that will stun it again. Then you take out its second weak point, and it's dead. Tall boys, jump into them, slash at the arm. If you hit the weak point, and you already got the fire axe, depending if you've already got anything else, like batter up on, or the difficulty that you're on, you'll either one-shot it, or you'll stun it, and then you can follow up with a second slash, and you'll kill it. The hag, the moment that it's on somebody, you can just slash at its back. Even slashing at its front will be enough damage for them to spit it out, the player out. Then you'll go run, chase the hag down, slash it in its back while it's trying to go into the ground, dead. This melee build kills those 3 bosses insanely well. You are going to rely on your team for the wretches, spitters, hawkers. You're going to rely on them a lot more for them. You can sometimes close the gap with a jump and try to hide out a little bit and let them come to you, but those you're going to have to avoid a little bit more. But anyway, let's just move on to the cards. So next up we have Meth Head. At this point, we are not taking any stamina in the deck, but this is enough because we get 40% melee stamina efficiency, plus as long as we don't swing randomly and we actually use our swing strategically and don't miss too many slices and we hit our targets, then Meth Head is just enough where you can really go in on mobs. Like hordes, you're just going to annihilate them and you're not going to be swinging slow. Plus, now this actually is the card that lets you very easily jump into tall boys. Now you could put this before Run Like Hell. That is an option. I just hate moving slow. And just one more thing. So when you pull out your secondary, and I highly recommend your secondary be the Super Shotgun or the AA-12, because since you're not going to be able to aim down your sight anyway, those are very nice guns to do a lot of damage and take out some of the exploders and not take damage. Do not fire axe the exploders. Not a good idea. You will take a lot of damage, and on Veteran and Nightmare, eventually you're probably going to die if you keep doing that. Not a good idea. Anyway, so when you're trying to catch up to the group, if the group ever wants to sprint through a section, you can make it. Between Run Like Hell and even with Mean Drunk on, just switch to your shotgun or the Uzi, whatever you're running, or the assault rifle, whatever you have as your secondary for the moment, or primary. Switch to that, and you'll move even faster. You'll move just about the speed of somebody sprinting without any bonus speed perks on. So you can very easily catch up and move through sections and not really feel like you're tailgating. So next up we have Brazen. We're going to have more melee stamina efficiency and more melee attack speed. More for the melee attack speed, but this allows us to occasionally miss a hit or two. So when we got somebody behind us, we think we know where they are, we can just turn and swing. If we miss, it's not a big deal. Just don't miss the second and the third. Next up, we're going to take even more damage. We're going to take Batter Up. We're going to take Spiky Bits. Not that much more that we can do besides adding damage and defense. And we're going to take that 75, the 10% damage resistant. Doesn't matter on our ammo capacity. Next up, we're going to take that extra weak point damage. This is to kill the Breaker, the Hag, and it will help you one-shot a lot of the Tall Boys and Crushers, provided you hit that weak spot on your jump. Next up, we have Body Armor. Why not? 25% trauma resistance. We lose ammo capacity. Who cares? Great card later on. We're going to take some more health at this point. We're already set up on our damage. Now, this card just makes you a absolute monster being able to swing, because you're gaining off your kills with Holly anyway, and now you're gaining again. So you're gaining 20 off the kill and another 10 over 5 seconds, so really 30 off of each kill. So, I mean, you could strategically play without this card in your deck, but I feel like I really like this card and I have it in there because it makes it more fun to play. You can miss swings and you can kind of like really swing away with this and not have to worry. So I really like this card. It also helps you deal with the Breaker, because you got to swing a lot at the Breaker. So this time when you swing at the Breaker, you actually have some swings left at the end. Next up, we have Canned Goods. Why not? It's another 40 health, but because we've already put Adrenaline Fueled on, another reason for Adrenaline Fueled is just a reason to gain another 40 health, because if we took this negative 30 stamina without this on, we wouldn't be able to play the build. We actually need Adrenaline Fueled to be able to get the 40 health. So it's kind of a win-win. Next up, we'll take Motorcycle Helmet. Why not? We can't aim down the sights anyway. 15% damage resistance and 10 health. I mean, that's a pretty good 25 right there. Now, Scar Tissue is your recruit card. This will be for the low-end difficulty with no friendly fire. If you are playing on Veteran or Nightmare, your number one card will be down in front, and your second card will be Mean Drunk. You're just going to have to beat Act 1. You could do Battle Lust as your second card, but I highly recommend just putting on Mean Drunk as your second card. But you're definitely 100% going to need that down in front, and you'll be able to hold off the hordes. You're just a real... to get the Fire Axe, and you're just going to annihilate everybody. And that is my melee, or melee. Sorry, I always say melee, and I'm always corrected for it. It's melee, I know. That is my best melee build. I hope that helps.